Hey guys, guess what? I'm super excited for this one. We're in my motorhome right now. We're on a 9-day camping trip and I'm super excited because I want to show you guys something. Look at this. I finally have a way to start working and reliable internet here while camping. I got the mobile Starlink we're gonna be testing out today and setting up. So I'm really excited about this because I do a lot of work. I day trade, all that junk, and you need good internet, and I've had some bad issues with that. So let's get this unboxed. My gosh, you see that thing that just passed us? Massive cigarette boat. Dang, look at this thing. So many people have a lot of money invested in boats. All right, now to the matter at hand. Let's get this guy open. I'm so excited. We got a pretty open, clear sky here, so trees should not be an issue. And guys, all I'm doing on this video is just basically getting it unboxed and trying it out. In terms of like my feelings about it and all that, I mean, I'll put that in more other videos that I just don't have enough, know-how or know anything enough about this yet. Gotta move the camera closer. All right, so inside of the box, we have the stand for it. Okay, stand. It's making a beeping sound. Oh, false alarm. It's my child's Tamagotchi. So we have the stand, and then we have the unit itself here, which is pretty dang light, honestly. Looks like we got a big instruction panel here. We got our modem and a lot of cordage. All right, let's build it. So one thing I noted right off the bat was that this cord is designed not to go down inside of this. At first I thought I was gonna have to feed it through, but it looks like we actually just lift it up like this, and then there's a slot there. Only really one way to do this, that this goes down into. Oh, look at that. It snaps and locks into place. Sweet. Next, I'm gonna take the power cord, which comes unattached to anything here. I'm gonna plug that into the bottom of the modem. And you can see here, there's actually these like rubber, get that to focus. There we go. Rubber on the edge of these here, so it keeps it nice and sealed in there. I love that. So I'm gonna take this now and plug it in. I wonder if that means it's like waterproof. I doubt it. This is not supposed to be outside, but pretty small little modem and awesome. So, and then on the back, we just have the power cord here, and then the big antenna, satellite dish, whatever you call this thing, just plugs into the other slot here. So this will go in like this, pops right in, and that's how the bottom looks. It's all attached. You cannot do this wrong. For that reason, they didn't even give you instructions really. So now what I gotta figure out is how to actually wire this thing from modem being inside the camper to outside where we're gonna put the actual dish on the table out there. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run it down through the floorboard here by the door and then straight out. So here's what I do. I got the modem sitting up there at the front of the motorhome. Okay, so it's sitting right here. I got the power cord for it going down there. There's an outlet down there. I also have the long USB-C cord running all the way down here. It comes all along back there, and I have it run down underneath my step right here, and then out to where it's at on the table. So you can see what it's doing right now is I just finished plugging it in, and now it's gonna search for satellites. This could take somewhere, someone said like 10, 15 minutes, so we'll see. It'll turn itself when it's got itself locked in. Okay, so while it's out there doing its weird thing where it looks around, I'm gonna start the setup here. Let's check for obstructions. I'm ready. Oh, that's something you do manually. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that right now. That's something with the phone that's actually pretty cool. We can look at that some other time. I have a location, next, Wi-Fi settings. Then you need to come in here into your Wi-Fi settings, go to Starlink, and it's gonna connect here. Now I need to create a password. Check that out. We have super strong strength, and ca.temai.tech network is now operational. There we go, we're on Wi-Fi. Let's try surfing the web. Holy cow, I just went to FedEx. And you can see, Wi-Fi, so cool. All right, let's try something else. Let's head into Netflix and see if we can stream something. Forged in Fire, play. And that's all it is to it, just sitting right there on my table. How awesome is that? So what I wanna do to test out the Wi-Fi strength is I'm gonna play Netflix right now. I'm about 20 feet from the RV and the modem, and I'm gonna start walking that way. And I'm gonna keep walking until Netflix stops playing, essentially. See how far the range is. So here we go, it's playing. Still playing, still playing, still playing.
We actually forged our own wedding rings.
I can't believe it. I am far away. I'm probably...
My name is Zach Tarbell.
80, 90 feet. I'm standing in a molehill. Hear that?
I'm ready to go to work.
I guess I'll go that way. Just kind of slowly turn the camera so I stay in frame. Okay, so a long ways. Okay, do we almost have a little lapse there? Oh my gosh. This is crazy. No Wi-Fi goes this far. This is absurd. I'm now full strength now. You guys see that, right? There's no way my data is doing this. Just to make sure, I'm gonna go here into settings and I'm gonna go into cellular data. I'm gonna turn that off and here we are. So my data is off on my phone. I was at the bottom of the hill and it still had Wi-Fi. I even turned the data off on my phone so it wouldn't jump across. That's nuts. That's like a couple hundred feet. My house modem can't even touch that. All right, so we've got some stuff to talk about here. We did the full 9-day trip. Starlink worked mostly perfectly. There was one problem with it and it had nothing to do with the Starlink. It had to do with me, and that is that I ran, you guys saw where I ran the wire through that step of my motorhome. Well, it sort of got off the seal and got onto the metal and was kind of severed the wire. So I guess the main message there is be very careful. After that happened, I tore it all apart. I was able to splice the wire back together. There was a lot of wires in there and it worked the rest of the trip very well. So that's good. And the neat thing is for 65 bucks, whoops, for 65 bucks, Tesla, you can buy another cord. So here's my new one that has arrived. It was here when I got home to replace that. So I'll kind of keep it as a backup if something ever happens again. So here's what you need to know, which is pretty staggering. You guys saw when I did the range test. Now I also recorded my phone, but for some reason that didn't come through, so I couldn't show you guys what I was looking at, but that was very impressive. Also, we had 3 families there, and some of those trailers actually had multiple families in them. We actually ended up having 18 different people that had themselves connected to our Starlink. So there was, people had their phone, their tablets, their iPads, whatever they used, and then their laptops. So overall, 18 devices were at one time saying on my app that were attached and using the Wi-Fi. In the evening times, the kids, and there was quite a few kids, all had their tablets out and they're all playing Roadblocks. There were people watching Netflix in their RVs. I never one time had it drop my signal when we were watching Netflix or streaming, anything of that sort. And trust me, I would tell you if it did. Tesla's not paying me to make this video. We averaged about 96 degrees on that trip, so it was out there in the sunlight, and it didn't have any effect on it. It was no problem. And then stowing it back away was pretty cool. So when I didn't ruin it, it worked exactly as I would want it to. So for the purposes of this video, first impressions, it installed ridiculously easy. It easily connected to the Wi-Fi, connected to my phone, set up a password easily, launched out there, everyone could connect, no problem. It was a wonderful, wonderful thing. But I was also in the perfect kind of circumstance. I was at the top of a big hill, wide open skies, hardly any trees around, nothing really obstructing our view. We ended up changing spots a little later on, and it had to be about 10 feet from my motorhome on the table. So obviously it could see the motorhome, but it had no objections with that as well. But still, very ideal conditions. We'll be in future sites, down the road where I'll try it out here on this channel with a lot more trees, and you guys can see how that works. So if you aren't already subscribed to the channel to catch those videos. And coming up in a future video, I'm gonna show you guys how I mount it to the motorhome. So what I've done is I've bought this kind of flagpole buddy, I believe it's called, plus a big old flagpole, aluminum flagpole. I'm gonna mount it. Tesla has this kit where you can mount it to a pole. So I'm gonna put it on the back of the motorhome. That way, when I am in a congested area and maybe low bushes around, or maybe even 10-foot tall bushes around or other motorhomes, I can just shoot it up above it. And that way I can still work while the markets are on. And then the other thing that we ran into with this trip is every time we left our motorhome, because it was kind of out on the table, I was kind of worried about someone stealing it. So I had to take it and put it back in the motorhome each time. Luckily it connects very quickly back. So it was just almost didn't even know. The time I got back into the trailer and turned on my computer, it was already on Wi-Fi. It was very quick, but if it was elevated up on the back of my motorhome, chances of someone stealing are gonna be a lot lower. So when all that stuff arrives, I'll be making a video on that. So again, make sure you're subscribed to catch that if that has any interest to you and how I'm doing that. Now, of course, I'm new to all this. I haven't even really done much speed testing on it. There was some I did. If I do have any screenshots of that, I'll put up on the screen. But it was over 100 megabytes download every time and like 150 upload every time I tested it out on average. It can go a lot higher than that, I've seen. I'm gonna be testing it here at the house, different places, just to see what's going on. I would love to be able to replace it here at the house, my current Comcast, if it would work. So I mean, we're gonna kind of test it around and see what we can do with this thing. But that's gonna wrap it up for this video. We'll get into more of the, the numbers, the stats, all that stuff as I get more time using it, more experience with it down the road. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video.